And welcome to this webinar. A while back I did a podcast called Famous Serial Monogamists, female ones. I did Marilyn Monroe, Liz Taylor, Sasha Gabor. Now I want to do 3 males who are serial monogamists. Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp, and George Clooney. We can have a look at their relationships. We can have a look at what their beliefs are. So I'm going to use the 6 blocks to love. And when people are overcoming a block and they're in a really happy relationship, then you can see that as well. And one lady that I had a look at in the cards is Tracy Pollan. She's Michael J. Fox's wife. And it revealed through going through the 6 blocks to love spread that she actually is someone who is really good at being in a relationship. She's someone who can make a relationship work. She's very good at it. So her beliefs is serving her to make all of her relationships happy. So that can be friendships as well. But in romance especially, she's really good at making relationships work. And I also wanted to have a little look into Denzel Washington's, marriage. He's been married a long time, and I think they are an example of a couple who really have got it together. They are very compatible in the numbers. They are naturally matched in their life path number and also in the day they're born. And Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, that's an example of a couple who actually are naturally matched in the numbers, but for some reason didn't make it work. So maybe there's something in their belief system that stopped that from happening. So have first a look at the serial monogamists. I'm going to start with Brad Pitt. 6 blocks to love with Brad Pitt. So the 6 blocks to love is there to identify why they maybe repeat patterns as well in relationships, why they go through the same, and why it's so hard for them to find their one and only. What's stopping them? Now this fell out, 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is when someone is confused. We'll see if it shows up again and if confusion is showing up again. So Queen of Cups is the bottom card. So that can mean his ideal woman. Maybe he's looking for someone who is Queen of Cups. Maybe it's someone he's been with who he's comparing everybody to as well. Abandonment, judgment. Judgment can mean that there is a bit of block in abandonment, but what he believes is actually that when a relationship is rocky, it's not so bad, because that's when you can really fix a relationship. You can fix a relationship when it's rocky, and it can get better, so you can save a relationship. He believes he can save a relationship, so he can push the relationship to the edge, because he believes it's when it's right on the edge about to fall apart, that's when it can get saved. So he's probably a little bit in the drama there. King of Wands in rejection, which means he has no fear of rejection. Financial, 3 of Cups, he has no financial blocks. Financial can be that you believe on some people only want to be with you because you have money, or maybe you feel like because you don't have any money, no one wants you. Whatever is tied to financial will show up there. But he hasn't got any block there. Safety. Page of Wands, no block there. Self-love, Ace of Swords, no, I don't think that's a block either. Possible. 8 of Pentacles, so he knows if you put effort into a relationship, it is possible. Independence, the Moon. there's problems there with his interdependence. So, you can be either too independent, you can be codependent. But the best thing, is to be interdependent. But I feel like there's a bit of codependency maybe there. There's a little bit of drama and emotional manipulations. He likes to play maybe a little bit of emotional games, and that's how he can push relationships to the edge. And he thinks he can save those relationships. He thinks it's all part of it. But as we know, he has driven relationships too far. Now, I'm actually really interested also in Jennifer Aniston, because she is someone who is a serial monogamist, but I actually think it's not really her choice. I think she really wanted things to last and work out, especially with Brad Pitt. But I really felt, even when I saw them together, like when everything was supposed to be rosy between them, I'd always felt like he took her for granted. It just looked like he did. It didn't, like, it looked like he was a bit somewhere else, disconnected. So let's have a look at Jennifer Aniston. And that's how she's going now. And we see how she's feeling about things now with everything that has happened. And he had 9 of Cups, which can indicate she's actually in a really happy place. King of Wands in abandonment. I don't think she has a block in abandonment. I think she's waiting for someone. She's waiting for someone of a certain character and substance. I think the 3 of Cups in rejection, that's no problem there. Page of Wands in financial, so that's no block either. Ace of Swords in safety, no problem there. 8 of Pentacles in self-love means that she's putting effort into herself to love herself. So I wouldn't say she's blocked there, but it's not something that comes naturally to her. She puts the effort in. Possible, the Moon. So she could maybe now feel like it's just been really difficult. So it could have even given her a bit of a dark night of the soul. And maybe she feels that it's possible for others, but maybe it's not possible for her unless she meets this type of person. She's looking for this type of person. Charismatic, strong, full of substance, but mostly family oriented. Puts family first. That's what she's after. Knight of Pentacles in independence. So she is independent through all the work that she does. And that's where she's focusing. She will be very successful. I think in the end, she will end up with success in love, actually. I think she'll be lucky in love in the end. I do think that she's looking for someone who will make her feel safe and secure. And it's this type of person she's looking for. She knows, by having had the opposite, she knows what she's after. And she also wants someone who is, someone who they have the same mindset. They think the same, laugh at the same jokes, get the same things. She wants someone she's very much in tune with. And I think she will get that. I'm going to show you Tracy Pollan. I'm going to show you her belief system. I didn't write down the cards I got for her earlier. I'll see if it shows up again. So Tracy Pollan is someone who, she's Michael J. Fox's wife, and she's someone who showed up in the cards like someone who's very good at making relationships work. Abandonment, get the Hierophant, so she believes in relationship. Rejection, 10 of Pentacles, again, she is fully committed and she has not got those blocks. Financial, 9 of Wands, so she's practical. I think she's quite a practical person. She's actually very protective of what she's got. She's protective of what she owns and what she has. Safety, 3 of Wands. She has no blocks there. 2 of Cups in self-love. So so she has self-love, but she experiences self-love in relationship, and I think that's why she's so good at relationships. Possible 9 of Wands. So it showed up really well. Independence, 4 of Wands. So she's interdependent. She experiences a lot of self-love in relationships. Like when she is with friends, family, and with her husband, she experiences self-love. So that's why she's so good at. So that could be a download. If you struggle with self-love and if you struggle with relationships, you can say, I know how to love myself in relationships. I know how to best experience self-love in relationships. And you can ask specifically for the relationship that you maybe have problems with even. And you say, I know how to experience self-love with, in this relationship with this person. Okay, now I'm going to do Johnny Depp. I'm interested to see what he believes about love and relationship. He is someone who is a bit troubled, I feel. And I think it's due to his belief systems. And I'm interested to see what they are. Okay, 6 of Wands in abandonment. So he has no fear of abandonment. Queen of Swords in rejection, which is very specific. It could be that he feels rejection from a certain type of person. Not in general, but there's a certain type that he feels rejection from. And because he feels rejection from this type of person, and it's a Queen of Swords personality, and we all know what she can be like, very judgmental. Very observant and very judgmental person. That he tracks in that person to try and get approval from that type, that personality type. And perhaps Amber Heard represented Queen of Swords to him. So it was really important to him to get her approval. And of course, I don't think he did. Financial, get 10 of Pentacles. So I don't think he has any blocks there. Safety, Queen of Pentacles. There's no blocks there. So when I say safety, it basically means when someone has been maybe abused or hurt really bad physically, maybe beaten up and things like that, they're really scared for their own safety. Maybe they have experienced stalking and things like that. Then it will show up there in safety. Emperor in self-love. Impossible. Temperance. So actually he has pretty good cards. 9 of Cups in independence. So I think he's interdependent, and I think he actually has good beliefs. The only thing that's blocking him is that he's attracting in. There's one type of person that he's that kind of an archetype female that is very much wanting their approval, and it's someone who is judgmental. So if he picks up that there's a female is that she can see his weaknesses and it's not loving him for them, instead judging him, and then he gets attracted to that, and that's a problem. So he's not attracting in someone who loves him completely. He loves kind of a little bit of the meaner side to a female, and he's attracted to that side, and that is the problem there. If he finds someone who loves him completely for who he is and doesn't mind his weaknesses and doesn't kind of, that doesn't have that kind of side, that bit more of an edgy side, I guess, then he might not be as attracted either. So he likes the Queen of Swords, a bit of a bitter kind of woman with a bit of a nasty side to her. That can push his buttons and trigger his insecurities, and unfortunately that is his weakness, but it's also what he's attracted to. And that has been a problem, unfortunately. He needs to know what it's like to be with someone who he can have harmony with and still be attracted. I also want to do Amber Heard because she came up as kind of an inspiration for him, because she's kind of more on the cynical, and she's a bit of a kind of woman scorned kind of, and so what will that show up in hers as well? What is she dealing with to give her that energy that he's attracted to on that side of things? And it's also the intellect, like he's attracted to very intelligent women. highly intelligent women. And I do think she is very high IQ, high IQ women. Very intelligent. So let's have a look at Amber Heard. Empress, that means that she could have a bit of that, she could have a side to her that he's a bit demanding, you know, being the Empress. Everybody works for me, everybody does things for me. The Star in abandonment means she has felt abandoned in the past, and that's what she's healing. Ace of Wands in rejection, no, she has no rejection issues. Six of Pentacles in financial, no issues there. Queen of Pentacles in safety, no issues there. Queen of Wands in self-love. She has self-love, and I think she can be a bit demanding in relationships. Her block is that she doesn't really think it's possible. And when you don't think love is possible, you go for other things. You go for relationships that will give you something other than love. Because she doesn't really believe it is possible. So she probably is a bit more strategic than in who she's choosing as a partner. And that's why she comes up as Queen of Swords. And an Eight of Swords shows why that is. So she's confused. She doesn't understand love. She doesn't know what it is. She doesn't understand what romantic love is. And independence, I get Five of Pentacles, which means she's mostly a codependent person. So she's either codependent or she becomes very narcissistic. She doesn't understand how to be in a relationship. That is her. She needs to connect more with her heart. She needs to connect with her heart big time. I think she will have love. I think it will end well for her. But she needs to know what... It can't just be about being beautiful and attracting love because you're beautiful. It has to be a bit deeper than that. It can't just be because you are beautiful. Because she hasn't got really block in abandonment, or she has felt abandoned, but at the moment she probably knows she's beautiful. So she most likely will abandon rather than, you know, being abandoned. But this is only temporary because she is a star now, but she's young now, but that's not going to last forever. So there's a lack here in knowing what love is. No cups showed up. And only like cards are more leaning towards practicality. That she lives a bit on the surface too much. Doesn't go deep into it. Doesn't know what love is. Doesn't know, or doesn't want to know maybe even. It's not what she's focusing on at all. So someone could come in and teach her about love. And to make her feel love. What does she feel? Who will come in to teach her about love? To feel love. And get the Hanged Man. And at the bottom, it is the High Priestess. So she'll be waken up by the Hanged Man. So that's someone who is totally different. Very innovative, smart, looks at the world differently, someone who is different, and she'll feel different with this person. She'll feel completely different. This is someone she'll love. She'll fall in love with this archetype here, Hanged Man. And he's a bit dreamy, he's a bit passive, he's a bit of a dreamer. But when she talks to him, she feels a real connection, strong. And that's why she feels like he can take her to like her future is... She looks forward to having a future with this person. So this is someone, when she talks to him, she falls in love. And it will be very strong because I think she hasn't been in love before. So I think that it will be like the first love, and it will be very intense for her. And when she feels it, when she feels it for the first time, she knows what it was all about. Like, then she finally gets it. And asked if she's already met the person. I got Page of Cups. So I don't think she has. I think this is someone she's going to meet a little later on. And actually got these 3 cards. So Page of Cups, followed by 6 of Wands with Page of Pentacles. So it's actually like this. I mean, like this. So as you can see, there is a really good connection there. So this is a path she'll take with this person, and it will be very strong. She'll be in love. So, and I think that this is the person she would want to spend the rest of her life with. She doesn't want to miss a day with this person. Let's check out George Clooney. 5 of Cups. So there could be a bit of unhealed emotions there. Let's have a look. Abandonment, 8 of Pentacles. So I would say if he's someone who knows he has to keep working at relationships to keep them from falling apart. At least that's what he believes. Ace of Cups in rejection. No block there. Knight of Pentacles in financial. So I don't think he has a block there. 10 of Wands in safety means there is a block in safety, actually. He doesn't always feel safe. And maybe he also feels like he can't provide safety either. But he feels like he has to act and be a certain way to have safety. And he probably feels like he has to control everything, or he won't have safety. Star, self-love. So he could have had a bit of a difficult childhood. And he's learning now to love himself. So this here stems from childhood. And he's learning self-love now. Queen of Swords, possible. It means that he has had struggled with believing it's even possible. And he could have trust issues with women. He could be scared of women on a deep level. He's too independent. So 7 of Swords is that's definitely being too independent. Not liking to, play by any other rules than your own. And that has to do with safety, actually. To be fully in control all the time. So that has been his block. And I think it's still his block. So what he could do to release it, or, it's to learn how to trust a female. That he learned that he can trust someone, and he knows how to trust. And what type of personality, or type of person to trust. But I think it's more to do with women. Not trusting women. I'm interested to know about Denzel Washington. He is not a serial monogamist. He is a monogamist. He's been married for a long time to the same woman. And they are very compatible in the numbers. 5 of Pentacles, yes. It could be a fear of poverty, or fear of getting sick, or fear of something on the physical. So we'll see if it shows up here as well. Abandonment. So we get the High Priestess there. And that means he feels very close to his wife. She has a huge impact on him, especially, she's the most important person in his life. And she's involved in every area of his life. Ace of Cups, rejection, so there's no block there. Hanged Man in financial, it means there could be a bit of block there. Maybe learning to see life more on the spiritual. Remember this. Be less attached to the material world. Two of Swords in safety, so he's learning to feel a bit more safe and secure, free from needing a lot of material things. Wheel of Fortune in self-love, so I think he has got self-love. And that's also why he has been married for a long time, because he loves himself, so he can give himself to one person. The highest love is not to love everyone the same, but to love one person completely. And I feel like he's mastered that. The Chariot means he knows it is possible to have this love in his life. And he's very independent. He's mastered the physical world. And now he's learning to see things in a more spiritual light. So that he could go on a spiritual journey later in his life. King of Pentacles means he is very independent but also interdependent. But there's no codependency here. If you see that, you haven't really had those deep feelings, or you feel like it's just not that deep. Like, you can ask, who will be the person that will wake me up? Just what I did with Amber Heard. But what you also will see, some of you, is that you might be more like Tracy Pollan, who has a fantastic, and also Jennifer Aniston actually, fantastic cards, and who's good at making relationships work. I feel like with Jennifer Aniston, she didn't have as good cards as Tracy Pollan, but I think it's because she has been let down. And I think also that she's looking now for a certain type of person, and that's it then for her. But family oriented. Someone who is very much a family person, family man. So she could end up with an instant family. That's what I think will happen with Jennifer Aniston. Okay guys, let me know how you go with your cards. Bye.